Hi, welcome to Planetary Calendars, Astro Portraits. I'm Ralph D. Meachus, one of the astrologers. Our portrait this week is Chris Evans, a person who became very famous as an actor for the role Captain America. Interesting, huh? Now, this is actually part of our new series, which are actors that have played a lot in action roles. We did a whole series of women actresses who played in action roles. With men, it's a little different, because they generally feel that most men should be able to play action roles. But in reality, when you get to the people who do a lot of them, there are certain patterns that are reflected also in these women's charts. Now, Chris Evans is a quintessential chart of this pattern. Why? First of all, he's born in a Mercury ruled sign. He's born on June 13th, 1981 at 6:16 p.m. EDT in Boston, Mass. I love when he goes get those exact times because you figure there's a good chance someone was paying attention. Now, he was born in 1981. Lots of people paid attention to birth times in 81, or the 80s. He's born with the sun at 22 degrees Gemini. He's born with the rising at 28 degrees Scorpio. Now, when you get to those last degrees of a sign, they get intense. He's born with the moon at 12 degrees Scorpio. So he has a Scorpio rising, Scorpio moon. Scorpio rising, Nicole Kidman has that Scorpio rising too. He also has Uranus at 27 degrees Scorpio, right by the rising. And we see this in a lot of movie stars. They're people who have just beneath the surface this high electrical charge. They're unusual. They have a sense of they're exciting and unusual. Uranus at the rising. Interestingly, and I don't usually look at this a lot, but the black moon Lilith is at 18 degrees, close to the moon. They say kind of a primal energy. And it means that when you meet him with his emotional Scorpio moon, which comes up a lot of times in action characters, there's a kind of a primal energy embedded in there. Now, what's interesting is that the sun is in the 8th house. That's the house of Scorpio, the house of feminine power. Now, Gemini, like Virgo, they're Mercury ruled. They like to get into stuff. On the chessboard, it's the pawns. They're the ones who go ahead and go out there and see what happens, kind of thing. Okay, not to go out there. The messengers, the soldiers at the front lines. And so he has the sign, the planet in the sign of the messenger in the house of be out there in the front lines. And who else does he have there? Mars and Gemini. In fact, Mars is leading his sun. So his first reaction in any situation is martial. He's got a Mars-ruled rising Scorpio with a Mars-ruled moon, and going back to the Mars in Gemini in a Mars-ruled house with the sun there, just to charge it up at 22 degrees Gemini. This is someone who really has no problem taking action, right? Interestingly, where's his midheaven? His midheaven is in the 11th house. In other words, part of the reason that he did this was because he wanted to be part of a community. And he wanted to earn a lot of money. It's in Virgo. Vesta's there. Vesta's at 8 degrees Virgo. The midheaven's at 13 degrees Virgo. He wanted to make a lot of money. Some of the wealthiest people in America traditionally have always had Virgo suns. It's like they like the system and they like the sense of, the symbolism of money and the practicality of money. So, that was very important to him, being successful. In some ways, it was more important to him than being well known. He saw it as a path to success. He has one of the classic things you find in movie actors is he has a packed 12th house. And this is very cool because he has Jupiter and Saturn closely conjunct, 0 degrees Libra to 3 degrees Libra, Jupiter to Saturn, in the 12th house. Now, the Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions are very important to us because they show the beginning of a new cycle. In Libra, it's a cycle in the arts. In the 12th house, Pluto's there as well, and Juno, is where he feels protected. It's the studio. So this is a person who really expresses his arts well in the protective space of the studio. Now, Saturn is exalted in Libra. It's a very strong position because it means they're very willing to cooperate with other people. And as you know, on a movie set, it's all about cooperation. And the theater too. It's all about cooperation with your team in the 12th house. It's a very important area. It makes them a real natural for this kind of work. It's also Libra. It's in the sign of the arts. To him, his spiritual self is very connected to the arts, which is not something you'd expect in a person who wants to take action and be physical, unless you want to be active and physical in a movie where it's kind of make-believe. You look like you're hitting people, you're not really. You like the appearance of it. You like to be able to do all that physical stuff, but not have to hurt anybody. Because they're sensitive to that. It's fascinating too that we're doing this whole series, so we actually went through a whole list of people. Lonnie found all these great folks, and one of them was Liam Neeson, a completely different generation, who also has Saturn in Libra. So he's born at least like 28 years earlier, the Saturn cycle, Saturn in Libra, in the 11th house, and also has Neptune in Libra. So that generation also has a great love of the arts. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction generation has a very great love of the arts. He's also a Gemini, but born at 17 degrees Gemini. And he has the moon at the rising, like Chris, but his is Sagittarius rising. And we oftentimes find with these action people, the Jupiter-ruled signs, especially Sagittarius, sometimes Pisces, especially Sagittarius, is very prominent because they're people who like the physical activity, but they both have the moon at the rising, so the ability to bring their physical motion right there to the front in either a Mars-ruled or a Sagittarius-ruled sign, and both have that great love of the arts because Liam Neeson, for all the stuff he's done with the Taken movies and all these different things, is an artist. He's an actor. He has that great love of creating harmony and beauty in the world, as does Chris Evans. You wouldn't think it, but this is implicit to who he is beneath the surface. Back to Chris now. He has, the sun in Gemini being led by Mars, all in the 8th house. It means he can change gears very quickly. He can change directions very quickly. That Mars in Gemini is very fast at changing directions. Trying to think of who else has that position. One of the famous women, it might be Scarlett Johansson has that position. They change directions real fast. What's interesting is behind there, he has Mercury retrograde in Cancer, Pallas Athena in Cancer, and Venus in Cancer from 4 to 6 to 10 degrees with the vertex, all in the 9th house. He's a very gushy guy beneath the surface. He's real nice to the people around him. It's in the 9th house. It's where you're nice to people in many ways, It's the vertex is there. He's gushy. He's emotional. He likes his friends. He likes being around other people. He can probably be a little crabby sometimes because it's Cancer, but scratch underneath that surface, there's that soft self underneath there, which is funny because with the Scorpio rising, it's very intimidating sometimes. The Mars leading the Sun, the Gemini, sometimes they're so often reflecting you back to themselves that it's hard to figure out where they are. But once you get beneath that, once they like you, then it's like, oh, let me fluff that pillow for you kind of thing. It's a real nice quality for him. He also has that little quality too, which is interesting. He has Selena, which is the other point related to the Black Moon Lilith in the 6th house, which means that he likes taking care of people. In his spouse especially, he's the kind of person who likes to take care of their spouse. He will be there for them, which is, once again, it's kind of hidden behind there. The great thing about Gemini is that it's reflective. It's always a mercurial. They reflect people back to each other. They tend to have great, what you call, engaging skills. Because, you walk up to them and you're standing like this, and they'll stand like that too. And you go like this, and they'll put their hand up there too. Suddenly you're looking at a mirror, but that's part of the way in which they engage with you. They become like you. It's a great quality. So it's a fascinating chart. He's so classically typical of this particular type of actor that fulfills a genre. And it's interesting, with many of the people who play in the Marvel characters, you see this repeated, but you also see strong Virgo. So I kind of wonder what was in Stan Lee's chart that reflected that quality as well. So until next time, come see us at Planetary Calendar Astrology on YouTube. Please subscribe and click that little button so you know when the forecasts come out. We do the forecast every Friday for the coming week. We do the portraits on Tuesday. And of course, visit planetarycalendar.com where you can find the planetary calendar, so you know what's going on. We have the pocket version, we have the two-wall versions, we have the electronic version, and the day planner. Very, very helpful to keep track of what's going on in your life. So until next time, be well.